Hi, this is Christopher Bruza. Welcome back, and today we are continuing the lightweight rifle comparison with a Forbes 20B. This rifle belongs to my brother-in-law. It is not mine. It's his main hunting rifle. He has two hunting rifles, and this is the one he always uses. And it's a nice rifle. I have never shot it, so I don't know how the accuracy is, but he's have a great reputation. Melvin Forbes was a gunsmith, I believe in West Virginia, and he made his own action, which was a very small, lightweight, but strong and accurate action, and stocks. The stocks are Kevlar. I read they're under a pound for one of his stocks, and I didn't confirm that, but that's why I read. So he had this company called Ultralight Arms, which made effectively rifles like this, very lightweight hunting rifles, something you would take goat hunting or any type of mountain hunting. Clearly, I mean, this is a 308. I've never shot it, but this thing is going to kick because this package weighs 6.5 pounds as you see it. Regardless, he was running a company, Ultralight Arms, and late 1990s, early 2000s, Colt bought the rights and started making something called a Colt light rifle. These were manufactured by Saco Defense, S-A-C-O, I'm assuming it's Saco, and the action was very good, reasonably built barrels, but they put a cheap plastic stock on it, and as everybody knows, Colt wasn't doing well then, and Melvin Forbes bought the company back from Colt, and it was renamed New Ultralight Arms. But he always wanted to have a production rifle, something that most people could afford. This, when new, the list price was $1,400, and his custom rifles were a couple grand more than that. So Titan Machine partnered up with Melvin Forbes to make the Forbes rifle, as we see here. It was an exact copy of Melvin's action and stock, and it's basically the new ultralight rifle without any custom options. You know, you could pick one of a few different chamberings, and that's what you got. And this appears to be a very well-made rifle. It's dead solid. We'll go through each component individually, but it's a very impressive rifle. A few years ago, Forbes shut down, or Forbes, the Titan Machine Forbes shut down, and the rifle design, or I don't know the agreement, but Barrett started making this rifle called the Barrett Fieldcraft. And I really wanted one of those in 300 Win Mag, which it sounds insane, but I would say early 2020, Barrett announced that they were putting their attention on other things and were temporarily discontinuing the Fieldcraft rifle. And Barrett made a few improvements, which I really liked. You could get a short barrel that flared out for use with a suppressor. I don't know why more people don't do that. I would love to run a suppressor on more hunting rifles, but the barrel just isn't big enough. You'll see, like, that's why my Win Mag has a number 5 barrel on it, simply to run a suppressor. And the Barrett rifle, it had a great reputation, and people loved them. I don't know why they stopped it. They said it was temporary. But before filming this video, I went to their website, and there's no mention of the Fieldcraft. They even had a Fieldcraft dedicated website, which now just kicks you back to the Barrett front page. And they had a press release saying it was going to come out again, redesigned, and no idea what happened, but I think it's a shame, because if you want a light rifle, there's not a ton of options out there. I mean, you get a Tikka, Sako, but those are still going to be a pound, 2 pounds heavier than this, or a Kimber 84 style rifle. And the Kimber is not the quality of something like this, or presumably what the Barrett Fieldcraft was. So with the rifle tours, we start at the butt, work our way forward. This is a Pacmeyer Recoil Pad, and it has Pacmeyer printed on it. The length of pull is rather long. It's 13 7/8 of an inch. And I don't know if they did that because, I mean, clearly these rifles are going to kick, or if it's just what they decided on. But it's 13 7/8 inches. The stock is a Kevlar composite of some type, extremely light. I mean, this rifle is very light. And I mean, you can tell it's a light stock, but it's solid. It's not hollow. It doesn't feel like a cheap molded stock. It doesn't feel like a fiberglass stock that has, you know, really light filler in it. It's solid from start to finish. Has a bump out here on the side for your cheek. What do they call it? A Monte Carlo style. And coming up, it's a ADL type floor plate. It's a blind magazine, so you feed it from the top. There's no hinged floor plate on the bottom, but you do have a steel trigger guard on the bottom, a carbon steel, which protects a Timney trigger. Forbes or Nula or Eula, whoever, they've used Timney triggers. I'm assuming it's made for their action, but it's not a two-stage, it's not a Calvin lead or anything. It's just a standard Timney. Very good trigger. The trigger shoe is the same as you would see on like a 510 or something along those lines. Great trigger. This one, it's not my rifle, so I haven't adjusted it. It's 3.5 pounds. And I would assume that's how it comes from the factory, but it's a 3.5 pound trigger, but it's a nice crisp break. The action itself is carbon steel. You have a safety here, a 2-position safety. It has to be cocked. 2-position safety, and there is a bolt release right here. It's just a little push down. It's unique. I've never seen a rifle that has one like that. And the bolt is tiny, just like we saw on the Kimber. It's a 2-lug bolt with a Sako style extractor and a plunger style ejector. It's fluted, which I really like on a hunting rifle because you get dirt and grit in there and it gives it a place to go. It's very reminiscent of a general push feed bolt. Get a very large cocking piece on it. And again, a small bolt handle, but it appears to be welded. It's a separate bolt handle, but it appears to be welded extremely well. And as you would believe, this is a well-made rifle, so that makes complete sense. Yeah, 2-lug push feed, which in the rifle we're comparing this to, we saw that the Kimber is controlled round feed and has 3-position safety. This has a 2-position. In the Nula and Eula rifles, I believe they had 3-position safeties or a pseudo 3-position safety where on safe it locked the bolt, but if you pushed down on the safety, you could lift the bolt to unload it effectively making it a 3-position safety. This rifle does not have it. I don't know when they changed. From what I read, the Forbes rifles had it, at least when they first came out. But this one was bought right near the end of their production. He had wanted one for a long time, and finally he was shooting a Remington 700 CDL, which was, you know, beautiful walnut wood with the ebony caps, and it was 30-06, nice rifle. But he wanted one of these, and luckily pulled the trigger, I don't know, it was 3, 4, 5 months before they closed up shop and moved to Barrett, which at the time nobody knew about. So this is a later Forbes rifle. The serial number indicates it's a 2013 model, which, yeah, that makes sense. It's a general push feed. So you've got your recoil lug here, which is sandwiched between the barrel and the action, and it's just miniaturized. Now, these are the Tally ultralight rings, and my understanding is that Melvin Forbes helped develop these rings, and the rifles come with these rings. They're 1 inch, I would assume low height, just by the way this scope is sitting. I mounted this scope for him, so these are the rings that came with the rifle, and it's a 36 millimeter objective, which is pretty close to the barrel, so I'd assume they're low. I don't know. They came with a rifle. They're cast aluminum rings. Some people love them, some people hate them. I haven't had an issue with them, and as you saw, I chose to put them on my Kimber. So that's holding a Leupold VX-3 2.5 to 8 by 36 scope. Second focal plane, it's a duplex reticle. It's a decent scope. If I had to choose a Leupold to shoot on a hunting rifle, it would be the 2.5 to 8. I actually used to run this on actually my Kimber 84M. I ran it on some Ruger Americans. It's a decent scope. No frills. I mean, it's second focal plane. I wouldn't necessarily trust the adjustments without verifying it, but it's a decent scope, and it's a lightweight scope. I was thinking, if I had this rifle, what scope would I put on it that maintains the lightweight? Other than this, the only one I could come up with was a Swarovski Z3 3 to 9 by 36, which I've run on several rifles, and I'm sure either would be fine. He's had no problems with this, has shot several deer with it, hunts with it every year, flies with the rifle every year. He travels from North Carolina to Vermont to go hunting, and, you know, hunts here and there. So I don't know, it's a decent scope. It doesn't have the cachet of your German optics, I guess. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the Alpha German optics, but it's a great scope, and it fits this rifle well. Something else might look really funny on it and not match the overall design aesthetic. That brings us to the barrel. The Kimber we're comparing this to had a .555 inch diameter muzzle, and this rifle has a .554 inch muzzle, so effectively the same. This barrel is published as 21 inches, not 22 like you typically see. A lot of times barrels are cut in even numbers. This is 21 inches. I dropped a dowel down it to where it hits the bolt, which is how the ATF measures barrel length, and it was actually 21.5 inches. It's carbon steel button rifled barrel. And one of the things that Forbes does, which most people do not do, and from what I understand, their rifles shoot great, so I'm not going to question it, but this barrel is not free floated. The barrel is bed from, or I guess the entire action is bed all the way out to here. There is no free float in that barrel. We'll see how it shoots. I mean, that is not what most people do. I'm not going to second guess it. I have no idea. We'll look at that later, I guess. So it's fully supported, and there is no recessed crown on this. It has what appears to be 11-degree crown, but it's not recessed in any way. It just rounds right out into the crown, which I'd prefer to see a recessed crown on a hunting rifle, just because you're going to bang it around climbing up into a tree stand, or I guess most people wouldn't use this rifle to climb into a tree stand. You'd use a heavier rifle. Who knows? Beautiful gun. I wish I owned it. And we'll shoot this and compare it to the Kimber and see. I mean, they're completely different rifles. You've got push feed, controlled round feed. You have a free floated barrel, a completely bed barrel, wooden stock, composite stock, first focal plane, second focal plane, German-made scope, American-made scope. So, but they kind of serve the same niche. So it'll be interesting to see how they compare. And I appreciate you watching. Please subscribe, like, share, comment on anything. Just comment. Tell me what you want to see. Tell me you don't like this rifle, you love this rifle. I don't know. But I like to interact. So until next time, enjoy.